welcome to FootyWit podcast, the segment called Football Gist with Ehis, Anthony, and it's so nice to have Aderonke Salami to be my guest in today's episode. We'll be talking a whole lot of stuff about football. You know, this should be the first female guest I'll be having. Like I said in the previous episode, I'm dedicating this month for the HR gang, the experts, the experienced people in the human resource sector or section, if I'm permitted to use that word. But it's nice to have you, Ronke. How you doing? Aderonke Salami.
Hi, it's good to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, it's good to have you. You know, I'm so elated and I'm so happy having a female. You know, female football, it doesn't really mix. You just have a few of them that just tend to want to follow the sport. But if you see any that follows the sport or that loves the sport, you would want to draw close. Someone like me, I love football. So when I say female that has passion or that love football, even if this passion is not 100%, even if it's just 10 or 20, I tend to, follow suit. Like we have a lady in FootyWit podcast, her name is Samiat. It's been a while she's been around, but she handles the Manchester United corner episode. But, it's good to have them around. So I don't know if we're going to plug you into the team or you just be a guest for today. So Aderonke Salami will be introducing herself, so let us know you.
All right, my name is Aderonke Salami. I'm a HR consultant. I'm a recruitment consultant as well. I'm a writer. I'm also the convener of the Unicorn HR Circle, a professional platform for young professionals, for job seekers, for career transitioners who just want to learn how to become better, professionals in their field. What else? Okay, so I am the founder of Unicorn HR Consulting, where we just help businesses to get in the right candidates when it comes to their businesses. We also do HR structuring and restructuring for their businesses as well. We're really more focused on the policy and procedures documentation of any organization. I'm really focused more on small businesses because small businesses feel like they don't need this, but by the time they listen and they're encouraged to want to put in a structure that matches that of the big guns, and so that's exactly just what I do basically.
Now, having listened to you say all that, I know anybody listening or watching this would say, how did this beautiful, eloquent lady now have to come to love the sport football? But that's what football brings to you. Regardless of wherever you are, regardless of whoever you are, there's just this connect. There's just this thing football brings to us as a person, as a people, and also as a community. So it's so good to hear you reel all that out. But while you're here, it's football, not the whole HR unicorn. It's so good to have a CEO with me on this episode. I'm so happy. And there's something, there's something we know between the both of us, prof in the making. She's aspiring to be a professor.
Yes, I am, really.
Yeah, so let's start. So how did your love for football, how did it start? Or when did your love for football start?
Well, I can't really say, there's this particular time or this particular day that, I started loving football. But what had happened is, growing up with my brother and my dad, my brother was such a Man United fan. Like, you cannot do anything when Man United is playing. Like, Manchester United was everything in this house. And, for the how do I put this? what's so funny, rather, is that my dad wasn't such a football fan. He could sit down and watch a full match, right? But just to, tweak my brother, he would always support the opposing team playing, Manchester United. So it was so you can just imagine how my house was like, during those times. But I don't think growing up I actually sat down to watch like a full match, for the whole 90 minutes. It wasn't something. It was just, who's playing now? Manchester United, Arsenal, this, that, and just see what's going on, and then you just stand up and go. But as I continued to, grow over the years, I remember there was this company I joined, and everything about them was, football. They were like a sports, organization, and that's like, I think I'm talking maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and everybody was, if you're working in an organization like that, you have to learn everything football, basically, because you have to talk to people about using your facility. You have to talk to people about football and all of those. And so that piqued my interest the most. I remember the first day that I actually started work, the first thing I was told to do was actually analyze the league table. And I remember that the stuff was laid out to me, and I was staring at it, and I'm like, okay, so what do these guys expect that I should do? When I interviewed for this position, it had nothing to do with analyzing football or the league table or anything. But I can tell you for a fact that very day, without anybody teaching me, I learned the football league table. And I was able to match everything without any help. I just had to, I just observed and I looked at it, and, that was it. But I think my love for football really was when, we had Thierry Henry, in Arsenal at that time. And I was such a huge fan, like a super huge fan. So I just picked interest in Arsenal, and that was it. And, like I said, it wasn't that I actually watched an entire match. It was just, if anybody asked me, so what team are you supporting? You just hear me shout, Arsenal. Who do you know in Arsenal? Thierry Henry. And that was it.
Thierry Henry had a nickname called Igwe back then.
Yes, exactly.
Igwe.
True.
Yeah, the king. Igwe in Igbo. In Igbo language, yeah.
Exactly. So that was how I picked. So my interest grew a lot when I joined, this sports company, because at times we had to sit down, we had to watch the match, we had to analyze, we had to go back, back and forth as to, how to go about managing a lot of things. And then we had something called Lawyers League. I'm sure by the time I say Lawyers League, every single person will know what organization I worked for. But we had that. So we had that then, and it was an interesting time, because it was series of back and forth with every law firm in Lagos State at that time. Wow. So that was basically how football for me started. And then going forward, by the time I got married as well, my husband was someone who actually right, he loves football. He doesn't really watch it as such, but he loves football, and his team is Liverpool, and you can just imagine how it was in the house.
We have a Liverpool fan.
So
and an Arsenal
fan. I would actually sit and watch, his Liverpool match with him, and I can literally tell him who's going to score next, who's just by watching the byplay that is going on the field. I can tell from the
game of play, or from the transition, or what is happening in the game.
You can read the game. Tell, who's going to win the match, or who's not going to win the match, who's going to score next, who's not going to score next, and things like that. So that's basically how for me football came about.
So, well, you already peeped into my next question, so I don't need to ask the question. So we could say that you're an Arsenal fan.
Yes, I am an Arsenal fan.
Interesting times to be an Arsenal fan because they won 3-1 today against their local rivals, Tottenham. You know, before we started this episode, I was watching the game and it was quite interesting. It's been a while. We saw Arsenal played at that level and they made all the fans happy. All the fans in the stadium, they were so happy because due to coronavirus pandemic in 2020, it's been a while. They had they call it the London Derby between Arsenal and Tottenham. It's been a while we had fans in the stadium to witness that. Two derbies have gone in the past without fans in the stadium, but it was an electrifying atmosphere in the Emirates Stadium today. So we knowing that you're an Arsenal fan, I know a lot of Arsenal fans have not been happy this past few years. A lot has gone down. Arsenal has now turned into a team where everybody make jest stuff. You go on social media platform, they get a lot of memes. They get memed at, they get made fun at. And I'm an Arsenal fan. Everybody on FootyWit knows I'm an Arsenal fan. So yes, there's always a story behind it. So if we're to look at Arsenal, I know definitely a lot has not been so rosy. But if you're to critically analyze the club that you love, Arsenal, what could you say about how they've been able to cope this past few years with disappointing performances and leaving the fans being disappointed? I know you ladies, you're blunt, you have your ways of saying things, and I need that from you right now. What you say concerning Arsenal this past few years?
To be honest, right, Arsenal has been very disappointing as in this past few years, like just to say the least. I think I was having a conversation with a cousin of mine who's an Arsenal fan as well, and what we talked about was that, for me, it just felt like Arsenal was just getting players, training them only just to sell them out again. So it now looked like Arsenal is a place for, come train your players, we're ready to train them, all you have to do is just give us money. That's how it looked like, that's how it's looked like so far. And to be honest, it's been very disappointing. But you know how it is with us as Arsenal fans, we're always still there to, support, whether or not, I've had a lot of people tell me, are you not going to Port? And I'm like, no, we stick here. This is who we are. Do you understand?
We die here.
As we die here, really. we die here, really. But but seriously, that's been disappointing. But I feel like we'll bounce back very soon. But I don't know how long. But I think that
So talking about patience, because Arsenal fans and patience have to go hand in hand. So did you get named that in the house? Does Mr. Salami tends to turn to you, and say, "Hey, what are you still doing in that club?" Because ideally, in the family home of any Nigerian marriage, the wife tends to pot to the team of the husband. I think it's a natural thing. It flows just like that. So if the woman was supporting any other team, while you're moving into my house, my rules. So you support my team. So does it taunt you once in a while?
Oh yes, all the time. Actually, he does that. But it's actually fun bands, actually. But because I feel like that's what makes it interesting for us, really. When either Liverpool is playing or Arsenal is playing, and you're like, you see, it's my team, winning this time around, or it's your team losing this time around. I remember a few weeks back or so, and I think I didn't watch the match, and he just came home and said, your people have lost too. I was like, which your people? I said, you better come to our side, the winning side. I'm like, just leave me, please. So, it's actually interesting to get, and I get named that all the time. But that's what makes it interesting. I'm so sure
it could have been worse the year Liverpool won the Premier League, when they had to wait 30 years to win it.
tell you about that. I did not hear the last of it. Trust me. I did not hear the last of it, but it was fun because I was excited for him that had happened. Did you get, especially with the fact that, you know, we've seen how Liverpool had come over the years. And to me, personally, it's, you know, was a good transition. It was a great one from where they've been coming. And I think they deserved it, actually.
To win it, because they had to wait 30 years. 30 years of waiting.
Not just even about waiting, you know, they put in the work. You could see the hard work that was put into each and every, because I watched most of those matches for that season that they were, you know, they won, and I could see, you know, the growth. I think I wrote something about it, I think on LinkedIn. I could see the growth that had been put into, you know, getting that trophy that year.
Yeah, but currently Arteta is just a quick one. Arteta is the current manager. This is his second full season. Do you see when he joined, he won the FA Cup, won the Community Shield, and he has finished in 8 positions in the league back to back. Do you see, like you mentioned, Liverpool, they've put in the hard work. So for your darling team, Arsenal, do you think they're in the line of progression in terms of Arteta taking over as being the manager?
Well, to be honest, if that's going to happen, there really is going to be a lot of work to be put into this, right? Into getting that. But I can't tell whether, well, from my own perspective, I can't really tell whether, if, you know, someone like Arteta comes in to take over, that would happen. Because, like I said, it's a whole lot of work.
Yeah, you know, a lot of cynics would say he's not experienced. He was a number 2 to Guardiola when he was at Man City, and why would you give such an enormous job to a manager who does not have the experience? Because I know in your field, experience matters.
True. Experience does matter, but then again, you can learn on the job. At least coming from my own perspective from HR, you can learn on the job, you know, but it now determines what kind of strategies you have in place. What kind of things are you putting in place to make that work? You know, there's one thing for you to have experience, but there's another thing for you to achieve that, you know, that goal that you're looking for. Take for instance in, you know, football, the cup, you know.
Title, winning the title, winning any title. That's the currency of football. Yeah, for any manager.
That's the idea. That's the thing. But what strategy has been put into place? Whether or not you have experience, you also need to put in good strategy. What strategy from the angle of you know, your players? What strategy from the angle of the managers? What, you know, all of those things have to be looked into to actually get what we want. So whether or not, you know, he doesn't have experience, we need to understand what strategy he's putting in place. That will determine whether he's going to get the title.
Well, that's a sticky one there. But, you know, they have a neighbor in the same London, which is called Chelsea Football Club. I'm coming in through this part. I want us to segue into this discussion because, like I mentioned while you were talking about Arteta experience or learning on the job, in football, if you're experienced or not, winning titles is what every fan expects, regardless of how you do it. Even if you win it ugly, you do it dirty, just win a title for us. And to be fair on Arteta, when he joined his first half season, he won the FA Cup, and the second season he won the Community Shield, which is like a cotton razor for the beginning of the season. And after that, nothing has happened. But they have a neighbor over there in London, which is called Chelsea. The club is called Chelsea Football Club, and because a lot of Arsenal fans complain about the owner. Ever since they call them the Kroenkes family, ever since they bought over Arsenal in 2006, 2007, Arsenal has gone downward spiral. It could be argued, it's not affirmative, but there is this neighbor they have in Chelsea, in the same London, Chelsea Football Club. An owner called Roman Abramovich bought the club over in 2005, and ever since then, Chelsea have been on the uprising. They've won 20 titles in less than 10 years. And Arsenal can't boast of the same. So, I know in your profession, result matters. But do you think Arsenal should take such pragmatic step that the owner of Chelsea is taking? Because the guy is so crazy about results. Whatever manager he puts in there, him being the owner, he's so crazy about you winning any title for me. But Arsenal has not gone down that route. Do you think Arsenal should copy that model? The owner of Arsenal should copy that model?
Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea actually, because really, when you look at Chelsea's growth as well, you can see that hands on they've been winning these titles because of their own strategy, just like I said.
The owner's strategy.
Yeah, the owner's strategy. Because at the end of the day, it's just like like you rightly pointed out. In my industry, in the HR, we're not the kind of people that would just sit back and relax and point fingers to, okay, you do this, without you as a as the manager putting in the work itself. You can't sit down, you can't stay relaxed and just let your minions do the job. No, you have to be able to put in the work as much as the next person, if not even more. Right? That's the idea, because by the time they see that, you who's the manager is putting in the work, there's nobody that's not going to want to put in the work when they see the manager. Do you understand? Do the work as well. So I feel like Arsenal should try that route as well, and let's see whether something different will come out from from what we do already, because it already looks like what we are doing is not working for us. Then let's change strategy. Simple.
It's not working really. Though, to be fair on them, they've been trying to change a lot of strategy. They've been trying to put in, ever since Arteta took over, a lot has been going on behind the scene. But the fans are yearning, because it's been how many years now? 17 years. Ever since the last time Arsenal won the title. The last time Arsenal won the title was 2003, 2004. So it's been 17 years. So the fans want something new. They want, only if Aderonke could listen to you to change strategy,
Right. Yes, actually.
Yeah. So just to it was difficult bringing you on board to have this episode. So not to waste your time. Just a quick puzzle. I know you don't like puzzle. You mentioned that to me, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. I will put you on the spot. It's just, it's nothing serious. It's just fun. So, Jurgen Klopp. Between Jurgen Klopp is the current manager of Liverpool, and Mikel Arteta, current manager of Arsenal. If you had to choose one, who would you go for?
Manager of Arsenal.
Mr. Salami is watching.
I'll still stick with my Arsenal team. Right.
So you go for Mikel Arteta. Nice.
Right.
So between the Emirates Stadium, should I say? Am I going to say? I know the answer already. So between the Emirates Stadium, which is the home stadium of Arsenal, and Anfield, which is the home stadium of Liverpool, if you ought to go on a tour on any of this stadium, which would you pick?
Can I go for the two?
Yeah, that's been greedy.
To actually, yeah, that's maybe I'm such an only twist, but it'd be nice to go to the Arsenal stadium.
Emirates. Really? So with this, Arsenal is coming first in everything. Mr. Salami, please take note. Take note. Yeah, so this one, I'm putting you on the spot. And would I say I know the answer already? Now, let me not preempt anything. The football world currently is divided into two. It's either you're a Ronaldo fan or you're a Messi fan. So between Ronaldo and Messi, who is your GOAT?
Right. Who is my GOAT?
Greatest of all time.
Like the two of them, actually, because if you look at them from both sides, but I have to choose one, Abby. I'll go for Ronaldo, actually.
Ronaldo. I think the female love Ronaldo. Most of the female, they love Ronaldo. The physique, the height, the demeanor.
It's not even about it's not even about that, actually. For me, it's more about the fact that he put in so much work.
Yeah. So from the HR perspective, if you're to compare,
he put in so much work. He put in so much. He puts in so much work. Like, I'm not saying Messi doesn't put in work, but for Messi, it comes easy for him. Well, technically, right? It's not usually easy for. But you can see that, Ronaldo just tries extra hard. You get, there's one thing for you to know that you can do something, easily, and you just go with the flow of how things go for you. I'm not saying that Messi doesn't put in the hard work, but you can see the extra effort from Ronaldo. Actually, don't tell anybody else that chat.
Everybody's going to watch this episode and they're going to listen to it. Yeah. So, Aderonke, Salami, it's been nice having you on the Football Gist with Ehis Anthony, and I've enjoyed every segment or every section as we went on. But you can reach out to Aderonke Salami on our Instagram handle at the Aderonke Salami, and also I don't know if she's on Twitter because currently Twitter is banned in Nigeria. So I know she's on Twitter, but she would have to follow the rules because as an HR person, they follow the rules to the latter. So is there any other way people can get or reach out to you? And also, in case anybody needs any service, you didn't point out the services that you render. So it will be good for our listeners to know, in case they need your services, they could just reach out to you.
Okay. So you can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and that's Aderonke Salami. Once you click on my name, you'll definitely see me there. So Unicorn HR Consulting offers various services. We actually do HR restructuring and structuring as well. We also do recruitment. We also create CVs, cover letters. We also do personal statements for those who want to japa, right? And
everybody wants to japa,
right? And anything that comes to your mind about writing, that's academic writing, business proposals, personal statements, company profiles, and the likes. That's basically what we do. And then I give speeches. In regards to youth empowerment, career development, career structuring and all of that. I also do career coaching and career advisory for those who want to do one-on-one with me. I think that's about it. And then, I have a community, like I mentioned before. It's called the Unicorn HR Circle for young professionals as well.
In case you guys need any of those services, you could just reach out to her. She's hot. She's good. She's the best in what she does. It's nice having you, Ronke. It's my pleasure. I really do appreciate this. Thank you so much for the time you've given to us. And also to our listeners, we're on social media platform. We are on Instagram at FootyWit. This segment is powered by FootyWit, Football Gist with Ehis Anthony. And also we are on YouTube. Please subscribe on our channel. We need to grow that channel. Please, we're imploring you to, I know she's going to help us out, share in our community so they can see what we are doing here on FootyWit. We're just, just starting and just seeing how we can help create content, football content. And also you can listen to this episode on our podcast, on podcast platform, Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, and also Apple Podcast. And also you can just follow us on all our social media platform. We're enjoying you to do that. Thank you very much, Ronke, once again.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yep, it is a pleasure. Thank you so much.